Alright then, here we are, 10-year anniversary of my YouTube channel. It used to be called Protoman85, now since Google Plus it's just called my name basically. But personally I still call it Protoman85, whatever. This is a look back. Alright, so why am I making these videos? Well, basically, I wanted to make some kind of a party over celebrating 10 years on YouTube, but I'm frankly a bit busy with other stuff to make anything, well, busy and incapable in other ways, but to make some kind of, I mean, for 10 years I'd rather do like a short film or something like that, but I'm too busy doing family fun videos, pre-producing those for when I'm away in Japan, and I'm working full-time regularly, and a bunch of other reasons. So instead I'm just going to basically reminisce of my 10 years and put it up for you to see, and hopefully it'll be somewhat interesting anyway. Anyway, we'll start with looking back at just why I started to make videos in general. And it all started back in 2001 is the big start of everything related, because before that I've never touched a camera. I'd never made a clip in Windows Movie Maker or anything like that, although it barely existed in 2001, but still. I was about to choose my program, or whatever you call it, for high school. And my sister had just, the 2 years before, because she's 2 years older, started something that I'm not sure how to call in English, but it's like social studies or community studies, or whatever you call it when you're studying a little bit of politics, a little bit of geography, a little bit of this and that. And she was, in my family, she's always been seen as the book smart person. So I wanted to be the same, and so I was like, yes, I'm gonna do the same as her to show that I'm just as smart, basically. And then my mother said something to me that I'm greatly appreciative of, and that was, you can choose for yourself. You don't have to pick what your sister's taking. You can pick what you want to take. And when I took that to heart, and when I looked through the catalog of different programs you could take, basically what I wanted to do, what I felt like at the time, because at the time, it kind of, looking back, it kind of seems like a not the most informed choice, but I picked media, which I think one of my first reasons for doing it was, I think I had two reasons back then. It was just like, first of all, media sounds cool. It sounds like, well, television, film, photography. It was also layouts and like newspaper stuff. And it's like, that sounds interesting, even though I hadn't done anything like that before, really. And the other one was that math. There's very little math in that. There was very little math in that program. And at the start of, I think, mostly the first year of high school, we didn't do much filming and that kind of stuff, or if anything at all. It was basically like an extension of ninth grade. It was felt like 10th grade. We had the same kind of subjects. We had math, we had geography, we had Swedish, we had English, etc. But then in I think either late first year or the second year, we started doing motion picture, or whatever you call it. And then as soon as I could get my hands on the DV camera we had at that place, which was a Canon XM1, if anyone was interested, I just took the camera and ran around the hallways and stuff. It was called Johan's Video. And fortunately, it's lost to history. It was basically, if I could recreate it, it was just like running down a hallway, walking down a hallway, pointing the camera at myself, saying random stuff. I put like the camera on a shelf in a room and just kind of danced. And I remember sitting in front of a computer in the computer room, playing like a song from Final Fantasy VI, and just kind of like doing this like do 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 do. And that was called Johan's video, and that wasn't anything. So yeah, I'm glad that one's gone. But then what I did next was Protoman, the movie, and this one I still keep around. So yeah, and then I did a sequel, Protoman 2, which was more expansive, but in a way worse. I don't know. Then I did Protoman 3, and that's where I had just before then had learned how to make a lightsaber in Photoshop, although I had no idea what After Effects was. So I had to break it down per frame and then paint the light on every frame with our like broom handles and shit. So I made Protoman 3, and that was I was really proud of that for a long time. That was the first video then that I put up on YouTube when I started YouTube in 2006, June 11th, obviously 2006. 2006. That was 1 year before I started a course, because my high school ran out 2004. Then I did very little, sort of in 2005 and 6, and then 7 I started a 2-year school thing where you study media production in general, like television kind of oriented. And there I started to make a lot more things because we had access to like one of these big kind of shoulder cameras, like television standard ones. But yeah, back to 2006 when I started my YouTube channel. I'm not entirely sure why I started YouTube, because YouTube was actually invented in 2005. Only the year before, and I think I don't remember where I heard that. Yeah, there's Johan, there's a thing called YouTube, and you can put up your shit there. I don't know where I found that out, but somehow I did, and I put up Protoman 3 as the because that was the best thing I had done at that point. Although I had only done like by that point I had done like those 3 movies, and then a couple of really short things. Like I did like a lightsaber test, and I did like a lightning test thing, but those are just like test clips. I can't call those anything else. Can't even call it a video. So I put the Protoman 3 up, and then I get not sure how this is relevant really, but I started to watch the Angry Video Game Nerds that came up at that time. And, well, it actually isn't relevant at all. I just kind of wanted to point out that I started my YouTube channel like 2 or 3 months after he did. And look at where he is and look where I am. I have 1,780 subscribers, and he has, I don't know, over 1 million or something. So yeah, not that I would compare myself to him, I'm not that good, but still, I thought I would. By after 10 years, I would have gotten a bit further, but whatever. Not that I recall right now, but I think my basic intention of starting a YouTube channel was for people to see my videos, which is, very kind of self-explanatory. I've always judged, because I'd say there are 3 versions you can get noticed on, or rated or whatever on YouTube. First is by views, second is by rating, and it used to be 5 stars, and now it's just thumbs up or thumbs down. And the third is comments. I definitely rank comments above either of the other 2. Basically what I'm trying to say is that comments mean more to me than views do. But then likes don't mean that much to me, because if I have, let's say I have 2,000 views, and I have 1 comment, but I have maybe 25 thumbs up or something, that doesn't really mean that much to me. Just because if they liked it enough to give it a thumbs up, why don't you like it enough to give a comment? And just comments in general, I've always been open to feedback, and not just necessarily praise, although I do like that. But there's a lot of time when you make a video about some kind of topic, and the comments are not about the topic, they're about like, oh, you did this wrong, or you did the sound is a bit off or something irrelevant like that. I'm sure other people who do stuff with YouTube that you experience that problem. And other times you make something that you think is really good and it doesn't turn out that people agree with you. One thing I recall as being a disappointment of YouTube, basically that one disappointment is like that one of my absolutely worst videos, top 10 best and worst game developers, has like 80,000 plus views and a shitload of comments, but that video is terrible, and I'm not even sure why I shouldn't really have put it up, because I did it in After Effects. I had no idea that music sound would get like choppy after exporting it, because I didn't even put it into Premiere or an editing program. I just did it in After Effects, which is stupid. And I didn't voice it at all. That was before I did voiced anything. And that video is like one of the top 10 most popular, and it shouldn't be because it's not good, and I know it's not good. Another one is the Star Wars duel that I did, Battlefield Kramfors. Kramfors being the place that where I filmed it, basically. That video, the fight, I think is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it still. And I like that we tried to film something that was a little bit more Star Wars-y than all the other duels on YouTube. I mean, with Star Wars duels, to me it feels like we had one extreme, which is a fan movie, and they have excellent quality because they have green screens and they have everything. We didn't have much stuff back then, and I still don't. The other one is just people waving sticks around on their front yard, or in front of their garage, or on the street, or in a forest or something. And by actually doing it, at least in a studio room with dark and having kind of the Jedi clothes on and stuff like that, I think we did something more than just the garage variety. But still, the garage variety gets a lot more views and praise than we did, and I'm not quite sure why to this day. But I'm over it now. Am I an e-celebrity? No. Not with 780 subscribers, I couldn't call myself that. I have a few regular fans, of who I am really grateful. But in my 10 years, I have actually gotten a little bit of recognition every now and then. First, let's bring up the negative one, which is still really funny to me. I like it a lot, even though it's negative. Someone made a response video, a video response to my top 10 best and worst game developers video. And he said, not surprisingly, he said how it was really bad. And I agree, it was really bad, really, really bad. So it was really fun that for this one time, someone on YouTube reacted strongly enough to my video to actually make a response. Even though it's negative, that's totally fine with me, at least being that the negative response is to a video that I agree is really bad. The other time that obviously sticks out is that for a couple of years, I put up my videos at game trailers, when they used to have user content and shit. And they used to have user movie of the week. And I got user movie of the week 3 times, which I'm a bit proud of.